Alright, hey guys, what's going on? This is Space here, and welcome back to another video. Alright, so I did this last year, I want to do this again this year, and every year that we do movie recommendations, and that is do a recap. Alright, so, before we get started, I want to talk about a few things. One, I'm going to be changing a few things for movie recommendation next year. So, next year I will be allowing myself to recommend any movie that I watched that year, not specifically just to that month, but just that year, for the first time. And rewatches probably won't count, even though I did count a rewatch for A Knight's Tale, but you know what, that's fine. And secondly, I made a new rule. I think I already talked about this maybe, that I would be rewatching all of the movies that I recommended last year, the year before, the next year. So that means that all the movies I recommended in 2019 I'll rewatch again next year. And all of the movies I watched for 2018 I rewatched this year. So yeah, I actually got that done. I'm going to try to do that a little earlier since I kind of crammed them all in this past month or so. So alright, here we go. Movie recommendation 2019. It's been a fun year. A lot of movies that I quite enjoy that I figured deserved a recommendation. So let's go ahead and start the list with the first one, which was Moon. So Moon is quite a twisty and turny movie. I really didn't know what to expect. I think I saw the trailer once and I was like, wow, that looks pretty awesome. I don't really remember how I found out about this movie too much. I know it's one that's usually considered to be underrated and underlooked. I think it's more looked upon now and less underrated than it was before, which I think is great. It really deserves a lot of praise. I mean, Sam Rockwell is just such an amazing actor, and he does a great job in this movie like he does in all of the movies. And it's a very interesting movie. It's just really something I didn't expect, and I loved it so much. I was like, the first 30 minutes of the movie is what I expected it to be like, and then like the rest of it was like, oh my goodness, this is very interesting. It took a turn, and oh man. So there's a lot of great scenes, a lot of memorable scenes, and I think this movie wasn't made for like a huge budget, and they really made it work too. If it wasn't made with like a super huge budget, which I don't think it was. I think it's like an indie film. So they did a great job. Everything looks awesome. Like the sets are really cool. The music is nice. There's a lot of really cool scenes like that take place outside the moon base. Of course, it takes place on the moon. And overall, just a really interesting idea. I like it a lot. It's a movie I'm very much looking forward to checking out again next year. I was thinking about watching it again this year, but I decided, no, you know what? I've got some movies that I would like to watch first. But yes, it is a very enjoyable movie. I'm going to be revealing which one of these is my favorite. I'm not really sure yet, looking at all of these, which one is my favorite, but I guess we'll figure it out. So next we have the Darjeeling Limited, a Wes Anderson movie. I very much enjoy Wes Anderson. This year I explored Wes Anderson's filmography earlier in the year, watching all of his movies, and all of them are great. I think my favorite one might be Rushmore, or, I don't know, I guess The Royal Tenenbaums is also really good. But today we're here to talk about, of course, the Darjeeling Limited, which of course is about three brothers that go on a trip after, I believe, their father passes away and try to reconnect. It's a very great movie. I really enjoy it. I think it's I wouldn't call it underlooked, but I would say it's one of Wes Anderson's underrated movies, perhaps. I think it's really good. I don't think it's his best movie, but I do think it is quite good. And it really has that Wes Anderson style. His movies earlier before this did have like that Wes Anderson feel, but this is really where they started to like really take off with that Wes Anderson-ness. And more specifically with the filters that he uses. He uses like these vibrant filters from here on out, and this I think is where it started. And it's also really cool too. There is a short film before this too that also has Jason Schwartzman as well as Natalie Portman in it, which I thought was cool. It takes place in a hotel room. It talks about an event that happens that is referenced in the film, which I thought was really cool to have like a short film and then like have a full-length film that are connected. And I thought that was really cool. You don't really see that too often. And yeah, it's a fun movie. It has some memorable moments. It has like some really emotional moments too. It has like really great cinematography too, of course. And Wes Anderson is known for his nice and awesome cinematography. It has a lot of style too. This is a very stylized movie, and it really works to its advantage. So that was for February. Let's move on to March. Now March was Charade. Like I said, and other people have said before, is like the most Alfred Hitchcock movie I've seen that wasn't made by Alfred Hitchcock. It is. It's a very enjoyable movie. I think about this movie a lot, actually. I want to rewatch it. Of course, I'm going to be rewatching it next year, but I've been thinking about rewatching it a lot, actually. It's just such a fun ride. It's very entertaining. It's probably one of the most entertaining movies out of all of these. And all of these are pretty entertaining, but that one is just, it's just so much fun. Just a really fun movie, and it's got some just fun aspects to it. If you really do like Alfred Hitchcock movies, then you'll love this movie. It's just, awesome. Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn, of course, do an amazing job as the two title characters, and it's just so fun seeing them act, and especially seeing them act together. They're just a dynamite duo right there. It's just great. I'm not too sure I found out about this one either. I think it may have been from this guy that I used to watch a lot, who was a film fan, and especially a Alfred Hitchcock fan. I really like Alfred Hitchcock too, so I think he mentioned it, so that might be how I found out about it. I don't really know, but it's amazing. And of course I found out about the Darjeeling Limited by, of course, looking at Wes Anderson's filmography. Alright, next we have Le Samurai, which is the first foreign film that I've ever recommended. The second one, of course, being this year too. Well, I guess, technically The Artist is a foreign film, but it's in English, so I wouldn't consider it like a foreign film. Foreign language film, I guess, is what I'm trying to say here. Anyways, so this movie, I watched it a few times this year. I think I may have watched it 2 or 3 times. I don't remember. I think it's only 2, but it may have been 3. It's just so good. Like, it has like that noir feel to it, which I love noirs. So it was really great seeing that, and just everything about it's just so cool. Like, the story too is interesting, of course, because it's about a hitman. I mean, who doesn't like movies about hitmen? Hitmen are pretty cool, even though they kill people, but still pretty cool. Everything about it is just so awesome, just very dripping noir, just so much noir. It just inspired me too to make some videos that are kind of like it too. I took inspiration from it. I really like how it sets up everything. It's kind of like a little slower in the beginning, where it shows him building up his alibi before doing a hit, which I thought was really interesting, and then him getting interrogated by the police, and just there's a really fun chase scene too. It takes place in a subway. It is awesome, and it's quite thrilling, and it's the ending too. Whew! I won't spoil it, of course, but it's dynamite. Alright, so next, speaking of French, or French, I don't know, French dressing, yes. I don't know how I found out about this film either, actually. I don't know, I guess I used to watch a lot of YouTube, people that like movies, film YouTubers, I guess, I don't know, and I guess that's how I picked up on some of this stuff, and I'm very glad that I did. I still watch it on occasion, but I actually don't really watch too many film channels as much as I used to. Anyways, because I hate film. No, I'm kidding. Okay, anyways, we've got the next one from May is Midnight in Paris. This is a movie that when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta see this. And it was perfect timing too, because I just took an American literature class that, I just ended in May of this year, and it talked about the stuff that happens in this movie too. We talked about Ernest Hemingway, we talked about Fitzgerald, all those people. So it was really cool seeing this, going through that and then experiencing that for this movie too. I was like, oh, I can relate to this. I understand the references in this movie, like the T.S. Eliot stuff and all that stuff. I was like, oh, that's great. And it's just such a lovely little movie. It's just kind of like a high-end fantasy movie, one that you would crack open a really good bottle of grape juice or something and just have some nice brie or whatever. It's the cinematography too is very vibrant. Like the color grading just looks very nice. It just it looks so vibrant and beautiful. And the acting, of course, is amazing. I love all of the historical figures in it. It's great, and I can relate. Wanting to visit another timeline or time period and live there. I think it's a lot of people can relate to that. And it's great. I related to this movie a lot, and it's just really a nice, warm, and fun movie that I just really enjoyed, and I was glad that I finally got to see. I need to see some more Woody Allen movies, but I feel like that it's going to be hard to top this. I know he has some great movies, but this one, even though it's the only one that I've seen, it's amazing. It's one that I felt very strongly about when I was like, yes, I got to recommend this right away. Yes. Midnight in Paris. It is great. I really highly recommend it. I can't say it enough. It's amazing. I love it. Anyways, so next we have A Knight's Tale. This is a movie that I just love a lot too. It's really great seeing Heath Ledger. I really like him as an actor. He's an amazing actor, and he has so many different roles. It's weird thinking that he's the same guy that plays the Joker in The Dark Knight. Just seeing him in this and seeing him in that. He's very versatile. And there's a lot of fun actors in this movie too, and there's a lot of fun scenes as well. There's a great soundtrack too. I love the rock soundtrack that it has. It really gives it its own unique style to it, its own unique flavor there, a little dash of something extra, like some cayenne or something, I don't know. And it's a very fun jousting movie. I haven't seen too many jousting movies. I don't even know if there are a lot of jousting movies, but I'd say it's probably the best that I've seen. Out of the 5 that I've seen, never. I don't know, what am I saying? I don't know. But yeah, it's just a fun, entertaining movie. It's I I wouldn't call it like super artsy or anything, kind of like where Midnight in Paris is like, it's kind of an artsy movie, but I'd say this is one that's just for fun and entertainment. It's a good time. If you want a good time, I would recommend this movie. Want a little bit of romance too? This has some of that in there too. Has some comedy, has some action, has all of that jammed in there. It's great. I'm very glad that I saw this movie and I rewatched it again this year. I watched it for the first time last year, I believe, but I did not recommend it because I have no idea why I didn't recommend it, because I'm a fool. That's probably why. Alright, anyways. Speaking of entertaining movies, these next few are pretty much purely entertaining. There's not a whole lot there, but it's story-wise, but it's just entertaining. Well, okay, you know what? There's some story there, but it's more, you're watching it more for entertainment than like just fine art or anything. We've got, to July, we have Twin Dragon. This is such a fun Jackie Chan movie. It really made me want to watch more Jackie Chan movies. He's a great actor. He has a lot of fun movies. He can do like some really serious stuff too. Like if you've seen New Police Story, it's pretty serious, and I really liked it. And of course in The Foreigner too, he's pretty serious in that. Usually you see him in comedic roles, but he's got some acting abilities, man. Not just comedy, but just everything. It's great. But this one is it's quite a humorous movie. He plays two characters. One is like this sort of like bad apple guy. He can like fight people and stuff. The other one is an orchestra leader, a what's it called, conductor, yes. And it's just funny seeing them interact, like two totally different people just getting caught up in this like web of stuff, some crime and stuff, and just them going at it, and all the funny scenes with their two girlfriends mixing them up and stuff. It's funny. There's a lot of fun gags, a lot of really cool action too. Of course it's Jackie Chan, of course there's going to be some cool action, and just really fun time. This is a movie that I just really enjoy too. Like there's movies here that I'm like, yeah, this is fun from an artsy perspective, like the story and everything, like everything in the story in the movie is so good. Then there are the movies like these where they're just like, it's just such a fun time. It just gets you hyped up. You're like, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I need to watch some more stuff like that. Speaking of another fun movie, we have from August, we have Encino Man, a very fun 90s movie, and very 90s too. It's a fun ride. It's very humorous. I found myself really enjoying it more than I thought I would. I was just like, wow, this is pretty great. It's very silly. It has its moments. You're like, what's going on here? But it's just so funny. It's just about this guy. These two kids in high school. You got Pauly Shore and you also have Sean Astin, who finds a caveman in their backyard when they're trying to dig a pool. Frozen, they thaw him out, so they don't purposely thaw him out, but he gets thawed out, and now he's living life in the 90s. It's very, very fun to watch a caveman just walk around in the 90s and figure out all this stuff and learn from these two fine gentlemen, and just all the fun and mischief they get into. It's just one of those fun movies, it's very silly. It's not the best movie out there, but it's just a lot of fun. Sometimes you just gotta pop in those movies. You can watch something nice and artsy like Little Samurai or whatever, but then you can also watch something nice and just fun, just pure entertainment. Not really any too much value there, just entertainment right there. So yeah, I like those movies. I like both movies. I like artsy movies, and I like just movies that are just entertaining. Like silly shoot 'em up action movies. Those are fun too. So yeah, that's what I consider this. Encino Man is just a fun movie that I'd say is great for the summer too. If you just have nothing to do, you just want to sit back, you want to find an enjoyable movie that has some wholesome moments too. Of course, it's not just like all humor; it's got some wholesomeness to it too. And you just want to find a movie like that, then you just pop this in, man. Just sit back and enjoy. That's what I like about the summer. Just sitting back, relaxing, and just watching a nice movie in the nice summer day. Next up, we have another movie that I think about sometimes. I think about these movies a lot sometimes, just how good they were and how much I really enjoyed them. All of these I really like a lot, and all of them, like I said, I do recommend, and I still recommend too to this day. This next one from September is Booksmart. It's a movie that came out this year. One of the few movies that I recommend that came out this year, I believe. I think only one of two. I think so. Anyways, yes. So Booksmart is another fun movie too. It's kind of a party movie, kind of like if you like Superbad, you'll probably like this too. It's along those lines, and it's just fun to watch too. And I like the story too, it's kind of interesting because it kind of flips a cliche, like all these party kids, they don't have any futures or whatever. No, it turns out all the party kids are actually getting into some good colleges, while the smart people that were just focusing on school and no parties are still getting into good colleges, but are not experiencing the party life, so they want to just go out and have a party and have a good time. It's like one of those like alright, hey, this is the end of something. We gotta celebrate and we just gotta party. Really, it kind of feels like a more modern version of Superbad, if you will, but in a good way too. It's not just like a complete ripoff or anything. It has its own unique taste and flavor to it too. It's the same basic idea, but it does different stuff with it, which I think is great. You can have a similar idea for a movie, but you can take it in a different direction, make it even fresher. Take an idea and run with it, if you will. Yes, so Booksmart, very fun movie too. I think about it a lot too. I can't wait to rewatch all of these movies. More specifically, I'd say probably Booksmart, Encino Man, Twin Dragons, A Knight's Tale, Midnight in Paris, and Charade are probably the ones I'm looking forward to the most, and Amelie too, which we'll get to in a second. So that's basically like half the movies there, and of course I'm looking forward to rewatching the rest of these too. So next we have a groundbreaker in the series. We have in October I recommended the first animated movie of this list. None of the other movies have been animated, but this one I figured, hey, let's do it. Alright, so we have Abominable, which I must say was a very fun movie. I wasn't sure what I was expecting when I went in. I was like, oh, this is probably going to be like one of those movies that's like, oh, it's fine. But no, I was like, wow, this is actually really good. I very much enjoyed it. It's actually nominated for an Oscar. I kind of hope it wins, I think maybe Toy Story 4 is nominated too. If it is, then I probably hope for that wins instead. But, this still, I believe, deserves the nomination. It is a great movie. It's not just one of those, like, write-in movies, like, oh, we need an animated movie. Just, there weren't too many releases here. Just throw in Abominable. No, this movie is great. They really tried with it, and it really shows. It's got a lot of emotion, a lot of fun packed into it, a lot of just good times and sad times too, man. Some sad moments too. It's just, it's great. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not sure if it's still in the theaters yet, but I believe it's coming out to DVD pretty soon, so you can check it out there, or on digital too, of course. This is sponsored by Abominable too. No, I'm just kidding. Of course it's not sponsored by Abominable. But seriously though, this movie is great. If you're looking for an animated movie from this year that is great besides Disney and Pixar stuff, there it is. Abominable. Alright, so we're on the second to last. We're on November, which was At Eternity's Gate. Now I really didn't know what to do for this month, and I remembered, hey, you know what? I really liked At Eternity's Gate when I first saw it. So I figured, you know what? Let's recommend that, because it deserves a recommendation, I'd say. And it is pretty darn good. It's about, of course, Vincent van Gogh, and Willem Dafoe does an amazing job. All the other actors do an amazing job, of course. Willem Dafoe is the main focus, and he does such a great job, He's one of those actors that really doesn't have a bad performance, I'd say. He just does so great in all of the stuff that he does. No matter what material he has, he makes it work. And yes, he really makes it work in this, too. There's a lot of very nice cinematography. It's kind of like picturesque, kind of like a painting, sort of, with the cinematography, which I thought was a very nice touch. This is a movie about a painter, so it makes sense. And it's just a lovely little movie. It's not like one of those like big blockbuster movies, like I said in my movie recommendation video, but it's just one of those nice, lovely movies. If you want to watch something artsy, then what better to do than watch a movie about Vincent van Gogh himself? And to learn more about him. I don't know how accurate it is, but I know there's some accuracies in it. I don't think it's like 100% historically accurate, but, it's just a great movie to watch if you want something nice and artsy to watch. Lastly, speaking of artsy, but also this one is, I'd say, a little more fun than At Eternity's Gate. Not that Eternity's Gate is boring or anything, but it's just, this one is a lot of fun. It's a very fun movie, and a very wholesome movie, too. It just makes me feel amazing after every time I watch it, even though I've only seen it twice. That is, of course, Amelie, the last movie recommendation this year. Oh man, this movie is so great. I almost recommended it, like I said before in the video, I almost recommended this movie, when I first saw it, but I was like, I don't remember what won that year. I think I watched it in September, or not September, I watched it in February. Let's see, what was February's again? I think February's was, the Darjeeling Limited, or it might have been, may have been after that, so it might have been Charade. But yes, this movie definitely deserves the recommendation in my eyes. It's amazing. It's just, like I said before, very unique. It's one of the most unique movies I've seen, and I just love it so much. It's just such a lovable movie, and she's a great character too. Amelie, you just can't help but like her. She's just so interesting and so fun. Yes. So there we go. That about does it with this recap. I can't wait till next year. I wonder what will be on the list. I have no idea. We'll find out together, shall we? So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys very soon.